Welcome. You're listening to Entertain You, and I am Jeannie Corcoran, your Sarasota County Film Commissioner, and in partnership with Society Bites Radio, which is a part of the Radio Ear Network family of stations, I am pleased to bring you this radio program that is all about entertainment of all kinds. We talk to writers and producers and directors and actors and singers and dancers and publicists and all kinds of people in all forms of entertainment industry, even novelists and theater people and online people and streaming people and musicians and so forth. So always a surprise, always something for somebody to enjoy. And I hope, since you're listening, you'll enjoy this. Today our show is a special show for me because the lady who made this program possible, Katie O'Neill, a fine lady, fine Irish lady. Katie O'Neill is the producer of my show, and she's also the program director of Society Bites radio station. And she's also a really interesting person. She's a vet, but I'm going to let her tell you all about her. And here she is. Welcome, Katie O'Neill.
Thank you very much, Jeannie. I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me today.
Well, you're just an interesting person. And, you know, interesting women don't always get enough airtime. So it's part of my mission in life to introduce my listening audiences to more interesting women. So what is your real full name, Katie O'Neill?
My full name is Kathy Gale O'Neill, and that is my maiden name.
That's your given name,
That is my given name.
Kathie, Kathy. Yeah. And you just decided to be Katie because it fits you better.
It does. It does. And the older that I've gotten, the I don't know, the sound of the word Kate sounds
like someone else, not
like,
you.
Yeah. Very well put. You know, if I look at someone who's a professional, I'm not looking for a Susie or a Betty or a Bonnie. I'm looking for a Suzanne or, you know, something more.
A Margaret, not a Peggy.
Right. Something a little more that fits my age.
That's funny. Well, my name, Jeannie, was what my father named me. There's no I in it, just Jeanne. And he's never called me Jean. No one in my family, no one I know has ever called me Jean. It's always been Jeannie. And I probably wouldn't even answer if someone said Jean. I wouldn't know they were talking to me. So with you, Katie, you might not know if they were talking to you if they yelled out Kate.
Well, you know, the only person I ever let call me Kathy was my mother.
Yeah.
And with 5 kids in the family, it was amazing she ever got my name right.
What is that about big families? I come from a Catholic family, and I'm one of 5 siblings, and 4 girls, 1 boy. And by the time we're all adults, when mom or somebody or grandma would go to call you, it'd be like, Janet, Jamie, oh, darn it. Which one? You. Oh, get over here.
That was pretty much our house. I came from a long line of IEs, though. There was Danny, Patty, Kathy, Nadie, and Janie.
Well, we have 3 B's, no, 3 J's and 2 B's. We have Janice, Jeannie, and Jamie, and then Beverly and Barbara. So, you know, 2 B's and 3 J's. And everyone is J a B, a J a B, a J. Mm-hmm. So that's how they did ours. I have no idea why. Parents are funny creatures.
Just lack of imagination. Mine was just as bad. I named my daughter after my late husband's favorite song.
Well, that's kind of charming, though. That's kind of interesting. There's a story behind it.
Well, there is. And if you look for her on Facebook, you look for Jennifer Juniper. And
Jennifer Juniper.
For those of us who are of the correct age, we know that song.
That's right.
And who sung it.
That's right. All of us over 40.
Yeah.
All of us over 40, we know Jennifer Juniper by Donna.
That's right. But her full name was Jennifer Joyce. Mm-hmm. And that was my mother's first name.
Right. I have friends who, their very first born child, she always wanted to name her son Roger. That's what she wanted to name him, Roger. And they were English, and they were over in England, and we're going to have a home birth. And her husband jokingly kept saying, so when I go down, I register the baby as Robert, right? Robert. No, it's Roger. Okay, and it was just a joke. And he would, tease her. Well, sure enough, she gives birth at home, healthy baby boy. And the next day, her husband, Dennis, goes down to register the baby. Without even thinking, he registers the baby as Robert. So his legal name was Robert something, something, something. And his wife was so furious, she said, I will never call him that. You go down and you change it. You legally change it back. So he goes down and he finds out there would be this hundreds of dollars to change it. And he goes, okay, just forget about it. And they just called him Roger his whole life. So he goes into public school, right? And he's Roger Garbett. And they go to call roll, and it's Robert,
He
Bob,
has no idea.
Bobby, Robbie, nothing. So we all have to be careful what we name our kids. We were talking about my niece like that. I have a niece, and her mother always wanted to call her Cindy. I always wanted a daughter named Cindy. So when she's born, what does she name her? Lucinda. Oh, well,
That's all right. She's still luckier than my grandson.
Why? What did they name him?
Dallas, because of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas. Okay. All right. I guess it's a good name. It's a good, strong, masculine name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, people probably call him Tex.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. The other one's name is Dalton from that movie that Patrick Swayze was in.
So Dallas and Dalton. That's actually kind of cool names.
Yeah.
Very masculine, very manly.
Dallas, David, Dalton, Dane.
Okay, then now you didn't. That kind of diminished it a little bit for me.
Their last name is Doubleday.
Doubleday.
So it's DDD.
Peter Piper picked a piper.
They call them Trip Ds.
Trip Ds.
Trip
3
Ds.
Ds. That's pretty funny. They could go into business and have the 3D something service.
Right.
Yeah. My dad farmed us out. We 3 older girls. He called us the 3D babysitting service because our maiden name started with a D. 3D babysitting. Yeah, sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to entertaining our audience, although hopefully we've entertained them. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people.
They have more information about names than they ever wanted.
But it's funny, every family, all of our listeners, I'm sure, of every age and type and gender and nationality and disposition and ethnicity and whatever they might be that distinguishes them individually, they all have families. And almost all of our families at some point or another get a little goofy with names or nicknames or things of that nature. So.
And of course, I'm smack dab in the middle. I was the proverbial problem child. I was the middle one.
You're the middle. I'm the middle child. I have 2 older, 2 younger. Yeah.
Too old to play with the little ones and too young to play with the big ones. So you spend a lot of your time self-entertaining.
Yes, but that's in our lives, at least in the world of entertainment, it makes us somewhat gregarious. It makes us somewhat self-reliant. And it's not a bad thing. I don't mind being the middle child.
No, I don't either. I've learned to embrace it.
Yes, it's true. So let's talk about how you got to be a producer of Society Bites Radio as part of Radio Ear. It goes around the world, all the way to Dubai, right?
Yes.
Wow. And how many stations and how many listeners?
Right now we're looking at over 5 million on the station. It started growing very rapidly. We started out at about 800,000 by the end of the first year. And 2 months later, we hit the million mark.
Wow.
And it's just done nothing but grow since. And then when we took on Dubai, they contacted us for shows because they wanted to begin, or I should say, maybe enhance the radio that they have there. And that increased our reach by about 81 million.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. And they came to us. We didn't come to them.
That's a wonderful thing, though.
It is. That tells me that I'm on the right track, I think, with my programming, because it tells me that I'm hitting the niche market that needs to be hit, that people want information from.
True. And I'll say this for Society Bites, your radio station. It has great diversity. I mean, your subject matter runs the gamut. It is like a rainbow, or it's like a patchwork quilt of all kinds of interesting topics and people and subjects and styles, a lot of different styles.
I hope so. That was my original goal. I was offered an opportunity to have a subject-based station, and I basically said, nope, not happening. And when asked what I wanted, I said, well, this is what I'd like to do. And so far, I've had the permission and the freedom to grow with this station, and I've done a lot with it that I was told, oh, you'll never get that, or you'll never get this. If you have a good product, people are going to buy.
Right.
If you have good customer service, people are going to buy. If you have good follow-up, people are going to buy. They're going to stay with you. If they trust what you're doing, that makes all the difference in the world. I've always said, you hear the old saying, if they like you, they'll buy from you. No. If they trust you, they will buy from you. But that trust has to be earned. It's not just freely given. And it's taken us a long time to put this together into a package that people can go listen to and realize that there's more here than just 25 minutes of babbling.
That's right. And it's interesting to see that it took you about 2 years to get it the way you wanted it before you went live. You started in putting it together in 2015, and then you went on the air in 2017, and here we are just over 2 years later as we're heading into 2020, and you've got almost 30 different programs rotating through your system.
And we lose programs every year, and we gain programs every year. What we specialize in is not just radio. Any host that has a show with us, it starts out as a radio show, but then we take it a step further and we develop that into a podcast. And that's a permanent piece of information that stays out there. So if someone misses a show, not a problem. We have each one of our hosts set up on other directories as well as they have their own cloud. So if you miss a show, just go see which one it was and you can listen to it anytime you want.
That's great, because I know myself, this makes at least 20. I've done at least 20 programs.
I think you have.
As of this show.
So far.
Right. And it's a delight for me because I have a chance to bring in all kinds of people.
Oh, we've met some great names that you brought in. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's been fun, and there's great ones ahead, too. I'm the world's biggest fan. I love to learn. I love to listen. I love to hear what these people have been doing in their lives, and they're all accomplished, and they're all diverse. We had one fellow that was a visual effects supervisor, and he worked on movies like Titanic and, oh, golly, major TV shows and Star Trek and Star Wars and MacGyver and wonderful people like that, and they have such great tales to tell.
And what's amazing is the work that they do is so detailed, and then when you see the size of the guys, you're going, oh, my God, his big hands did that?
That fine work, right?
Oh, yeah, very detailed, very impressive people.
Sure. And we've had Bob Layton, who is the recreator of Iron Man, the Robert Downey Jr. version of Iron Man, and that was a character that was going to be on the scrap heap of the comic book universe years ago, and Bob Layton said, no, give me a shot. Let me resurrect him. Let me see what I can do with him. And
I'm sure Stan Lee is very proud.
Right. I'm sure that Robert Downey Jr. thanks his lucky stars, too, because it completely relaunched his career, too.
It did.
Even though he's a fine actor in many ways. But, it's an interesting world out there. And you're interesting. Not only are you a programmer and not only are you a producer and all of these different things in television, but you're also a veteran.
I am.
What path led you to join the Navy Reserves?
Well, I had originally planned on going active duty, and that did not happen because I got married at a very early age and became a mom and then became a single parent. And if I had gone into the military at the age I was, I would have had to give up custody of my child.
Oh, no.
Because she was an only child with only one parent. And I said, no, I don't trust anybody else to raise my child. I'll do it on my own. And when she's old enough, if the military is still interested and she doesn't mind and I'm still interested, then we'll talk then.
Right.
So I enlisted at the oldest possible age I could have at 34 and was told, you can't go active duty because you're too old.
Oh, gosh.
I was very disappointed because it meant a great deal to me. I grew up in a military household. My dad was a decorated hero from Korea with many, many honors. My mother was a corporal. My brother was a platoon leader. My younger sister went infantry, and I decided to go Navy.
Go Navy, yay.
That's right, because I don't look good in green. I like blue and khaki better.
And I love those little white caps.
Oh, I do too. They're adorable.
Yes.
I only kept one picture of me in the military, and it was during basic training. That's the only one I ever kept.
Oh, and you were in it for 8 years.
8 years.
That's good. That's great. And you do a lot through your radio station and otherwise. You continue to serve veterans.